Hi everyone, thank you so much for watching. My name is Savannah and we're back in Planet Zoo in our new franchise zoo. And before we get started, I wanted to say thank you so much for the positive feedback and all the suggestions we got on our first episode. The first episode of this franchise zoo, as well as my Let's Play series for 2 Point Hospital, are the very first two kind of Let's Play videos that I've created. So I was incredibly nervous putting them out there because whenever I play video games, normally I don't sit here and talk to myself. So I was worried that I was going to be boring or not doing enough. And, you know, I do see areas where I can improve, but I am so grateful for those of you that have enjoyed it and given me some feedback. So last episode, we put in our Galapagos giant tortoises and our Aldabra giant tortoises over here. We started talking a little bit about theming and what we were going to do around the edge of the enclosure here, as well as starting our entrance area. This is a tropical North American biome here, so we're going to be dealing with lots of rain and warmer weather. So I want to keep that in mind as we go forward here and adding lots of shelters for the guests as they walk around, because I actually just finished letting it play for only a few minutes or so to kind of get some more money down here, as well as get some research started. Just the little kind of boring, tedious things that happen at the very beginning of a franchise zoo. But it rained quite a bit, very often. And so I'm keeping it paused here because I want to do some work on the enclosures, and we've got nice sunny weather here, and I don't want to mess it up and have it rain again and then have to go through that. But keeping those in mind. The other thing that I wanted to mention is I actually forgot to tell you guys last time that the zoo needs a name. Right now I'm just calling it Franchise Zoo. I am awful at thinking of names and creative things for series and zoos and things like that. So if you guys have any name suggestions, please leave those down in the comments below, because I'd like to give it a name instead of just calling it Franchise Zoo. The first thing I wanted to do today was actually to see if we could fix these shelters. I got a comment from somebody saying that it might be due to the height. Although, as you can see, like this on the ground here, that is clearly enough room for this little tortoise. I guess the game doesn't quite register that. So if we move that up just a bit, let's see what it does. Oh, I should hit play. Oh, okay, so it actually increases just a little bit. So let's see if we do it a little bit more. How high do you really need, buddy? 45%, okay. So that's interesting. It must be calculating it from the lowest part back there, because the higher I raise it, okay, 52%. All right, so we just need an incredibly tall shelter for you, I guess. Okay, it looks like it's going to stop at 52. So let's see where the lowest we can get it to be at 52 would be. Little sad that that's kind of how the game calculates the hard shelter, because like I said, clearly you can see there's a tortoise in there right now and he has plenty of headroom, and lowering this I think is much more realistic than having it be up high. We went down a little bit too low. We'll go back up. Perfect. Doesn't seem to be that realistic for a tortoise specifically. So if we just edit this here, and we'll do the same thing with the other one, and that way they actually have some hard shelter. Now I know we didn't get it to 100%, but if we get it to at the 52, their welfare was already in the green, so I'm not too worried about that. As long as they just have some registered hard shelter, I think that that's important, because that'll keep them happy. Like if we don't catch it right away when they're enrichment, they get tired of their enrichment and things like that. I wonder if we double this. Is that too much? I might just double one layer and make it 3, because now I feel like the sides aren't high enough, like in proportion to the roof. I know these are very basic, simple shelters, but they're meant to be that way. So I think that, yeah, that looks okay. Again, you know, I'm not too pleased with how high up that has to be. But I guess we'll make do with it, because that's what the game requires and what they want to register. So we'll just get rid of, we'll get rid of this one, and then we'll just duplicate this one over to the other side so that we can have nice and happy tortoises. There we go. And let's see if that worked for these guys as well. Only 23. I guess these guys are a little bit bigger of a tortoise. Let's make sure that's not a height thing. Maybe the ground is too, or is different. 38. Okay, well, it's not the best, but to be honest, I might save that for when we go into the time lapse, coming over here and trying to figure out a better way to go about that. But for at least now, you can see their welfare is at 77%. Hard shelter's obviously not all the way full, but we do have some more room for coverage and things like that because I do want to add some more plants. And for these guys, how come your welfare... Oh, we don't have any food enrichment for you. So let's go. Yes, we do. There's that one. Maybe they're tired of it already. But in any regard, we did unlock this little thing here. So I'll go ahead and stick one of those down for both of these guys here so that they have a little bit more of the food enrichment. And that should help. Let's see. Do they really want one more? I guess I can give them one more. That's fine. There. Perfect. Beautiful. I'm not going to increase their food quality just yet. Yeah, enrichment is good because I'm pretty happy. Well, this should be going up soon, hopefully, now that we've fixed all the rest of that. But I'm pretty happy with like the 77% that we have on the other side here, or 83 now. That's great. So that's pretty happy considering we're just starting off here. What is our notification? Oh yeah, our vending machine broke, but the mechanic, oh, this is the other one. That's the one downside to the vending machines is that they do break quite often. However, we did get some research done on some drink shops. So let's see if we go to facilities here. I think that's staff, that's guest. Yeah, we have... Oh, wait, no, we were doing food before. Yeah, so we have the Cosmic Cow ice cream and a couple other stands unlocked here. And we can also do the hot dog squad and the pizza pen and the Cosmic Cow vending machine as well. So I might look into that too. Let's see. I did get some suggestions for some education boards, and I know that we need more over here. I was just really trying to stay within this blue circle for the very beginning to make sure that we didn't overshoot our budget by a huge amount because I want to keep finances at the forefront of our minds, basically, because the last thing I want to do is have to record some really boring episodes or rather play without recording while we kind of pull ourselves out of bankruptcy. So right now, you know, obviously as I'm looking at it now, that's kind of a bad example, but we're sitting here. We still are technically in the green making a profit, and our money has gone up quite a bit since I let it play. Now our inspectors here, I know they're going to say education on this second habitat. And we do need to name our habitats, and that way we know exactly what they're talking about here. So let's see. Did I spell that right? I don't think I spelled that right. Let me double check. Yeah, you guys will learn that I'm probably the world's worst speller, but also very bad at pronunciation. So, Galapagos. Well, maybe I did spell it right. So that'll be an interesting thing to keep an eye on throughout the series. Galapagos. Oh, I did spell it right. Great. Okay, Galapagos tortoise, and then this one over here is algebra. And I always want to say algebra, but it's not a mathematic tortoise. It's an algebra tortoise. Tortoise. Great. Awesome. Okay, so now if things pop up, we should know what they're talking about rather than just saying Habitat 1 and Habitat 2. So we fixed the shelters, and I was actually thinking I got off track a little bit. So in regards to the education boards, I was trying to stay in the circle as best as possible, but if we are going to add a generator... that is not the right thing. Generator here. I'd want to add it like right here or so, and that way it covers the majority, or I guess the most ground that it could possibly cover, and that way we're not, you know, paying to power the same area with so much overlap. So I'd want it to be, I guess it would have to be like right there. Let's see kind of where that puts us. That puts us at an okay place, actually, because what I was thinking, if we turn this around, if we put that down there, we can possibly move like this whole little complex over to here, and it might be more centralized once we get some habitats out and around here. I kind of like that idea. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me pause it just so nothing happens, and I can select this whole group hopefully and just kind of slide it, kind of slide it over so that we can get all of this in a more centralized, oh, the bathrooms are part of that, I guess. So let's do this and let's edit it, split it from a group, and now we should be able to move it without bringing the toilets with us. So we don't need to bring the guest toilets. And I guess this can be just on this side of the power. We'll kind of line it up here. And again, obviously these are all going to get some sort of facade and decorations and things like that. They're not going to stay just ugly little buildings like they are right now, but I am saving that for a future date. Because again, I want to make sure that we really prioritize the guests and the animals and things like that. Because normally if I was doing obviously like a speed build or something in sandbox mode, everything is pretty regardless because we go straight for that. So let's just go ahead and get the path hooked up. So far, so good. Sometimes these can be a little bit tricky, but fortunately they've been behaving, for lack of a better word. And as I say that, that one decides not to behave. Great. There we go. Sometimes they just take a little convincing. Maybe not. There. Perfect. And then out and around here. And almost. Oh, okay. Hold on. The paths, man. There we go. It's not the most beautiful turn, but that will do. And then we will take this just so that I don't have to sit here and struggle with it for too long. Whoops, that's a really ugly way to join that path. Oh, come on. Be cooperative, please. That would be wonderful. Beautiful. Okay. Not too bad. Okay, so now that's in more of a centralized area, and we could even probably do another little enclosure right here. I'm thinking of bringing this path and kind of curving it around. And I'm also thinking of dropping this side of the zoo off down a slope because I want to bring height into the zoo. And so it's not all kind of on a flat plane like it is now. But before we get started, I guess we can let it play because nothing major is happening. I wanted to add, let's see what's going on over here. Yes, you can. I fixed it. Oh, no, I didn't. I'm yelling at them and they're completely right. So I forgot to keep this connected to the path. For now, I'm just going to do this. This will not be the permanent way that they get to the staff facilities because that is quite an ugly little junction over there. But for now, that will do. And I'm going to, just because this bothers the crap out of me when the leftover paths are all over the place, we'll just kind of put that there. And then we have to do some short so that we didn't make our paths all covered in grass. Great, that should be okay. Perfect. So like I was saying, is I wanted to come in here and if we go to nature and we're just going to sort for tropical, and that way we just get all the tropical things. They might not be specifically from like tropical Africa or tropical South America like the tortoises ask for, but they'll be the kind of foliage that we're looking for. And I just wanted to add a little bit more interest in these enclosures. So there's a little bit more that guests and things can look at. It makes them a little bit more full. I do have to be careful with these trees in particular. I love sinking them all the way down so you just see this top part. I think it looks really cool, but they do count as an entire tree worth of coverage. So you can see, okay, we've still got a little bit ways to go on there, and they're still pretty happy with 97%, so that's good. But yeah, just a few more things around the enclosure like that, so that way we can give just a little bit more greenery. I always hate everything I build until I add trees. I know I've said that before in past videos, but it's true. Honestly, I'll get building on something and hate it and want to give up basically and not share it, not post it, not continue. And then all of a sudden I'm like, no, just go ahead and add some trees and it'll be okay. And it always is, basically. I always add the trees and all the rocks and things like that. And it changes my mind completely on what I was thinking. Yeah, I don't know how big of a fan I am of these huge, whatever these are. I want to call them bird of paradise. What are they? Lobster claw. Not even close. I guess one right there would be okay. I don't like how repetitive it looks back there with that one, so maybe we find something else to go back there. Let's see. Maybe some of these would be okay. Sink them in. I like putting in different foliage. That way, you know, it's just kind of different textures and things like that that really kind of make each of the habitats look unique. And when you're looking around, it's not all the same thing. It's not repetitive in that way. In reality, honestly, I know I was talking about realism. The tortoises would probably destroy and eat all of these things. So in normal circumstances, that's why you kind of see tortoises with planar exhibits, because like I was talking about with them digging underneath here, they also kind of dig and destroy foliage and things like that. So that is the one kind of thing I'm going to try to ignore with the realism, I guess, is the fact that they would destroy all these trees, because then I think the enclosure would look really, really plain. So let's go ahead and add a couple more bushes here. And things so that there's not this big open section. And then we'll check and make sure I'm not overdoing it. You can overdo it just a bit with these guys, or with any animal for that matter, because once you go over just a bit, it doesn't, oh look, we're not even close. That's great. Awesome. What was I thinking? Is it these guys I was thinking have a much lower, or am I just crazy? No, I'm just crazy. Okay, cool. Well, then we can add a lot more foliage to the area, because I think that obviously, like I've just been saying, brings the whole area alive, and really like how it makes it look. You can see when you get down here, it's just a little bit more, I maybe want to add a little bit more over here. You know what I'm thinking is maybe I'll bring out some rocks and put a couple of them right there. And the reason being is because I want to try the best we can in our zoo to hide some of the keeper entrances and things, because that's another thing I feel like that zoos would keep in consideration, is the fact that we want to make it seem like the animals are, you know, out in wild spaces and not in a zoo per se. Whoops. So let's see if we can't do that a little bit with like rocks here. So you can see, like, now that when you look back over here, you see the fence, but you don't necessarily see where the keeper comes in. So it gives it just that little bit more of like that they're in a really natural space. And that's kind of what I'm going for. So I'm pretty happy with that those little rocks makes this little kind of alcove of foliage there, leaving lots of blank open spaces for the tortoises to walk around. The other completely unnecessary thing, and I've got to make sure that I don't remember to look at this stuff up over here, because when I get building, I get basically tunnel vision and blind to what's going on the left side of the screen. Oh, awesome. That's right. I did have our vet complete the research on the tortoises. So I've got them basically starting on some diseases and things like that. And I might actually, because this is the second time this has come up. It came up once before I started recording and it came up now. I might actually get us a second mechanic. Just because I do want the mechanic that we have now, our current one, to continue doing research. So let's go ahead and drop a second one down, and that way one can do research and then one can kind of mind to these barriers, because obviously they're breaking down quite a bit. But anyway, that's kind of what I'm going for in here with the grasses and things like that. What I started to say before I realized that I was forgetting is the other completely unnecessary thing that I want to do is make this look like it would be an actual cleanable, drainable drinking area for the tortoises. So let's see how easily we can do this. That's not bad. That's nice and shallow. That's kind of what I want, because you wouldn't want it to be deep so that they would have to go in there and swim. You'd want it to be pretty shallow so that they could just kind of wade in it if they really wanted to. I like that better over there. And then what we can do is, let's see how difficult this is going to be. So we'll add this into one group so it's very easy to select and edit. And that way when we duplicate things, they snap right to the plane of what we are doing. Snap this at a 15. We might have to actually lower that. Yeah, so let's make this a really slight gradual thing here. And I'm wondering if this is going to be a big enough piece. Probably not. I'm probably going to need to do this one. Where's the edge of the water? It's over there. So, let's see. We might actually have to bring this up just a bit. That way it... There, that way, yeah, we can get to the edge of the water. I'll go ahead and leave it like this for now because this is going to take me just a little bit longer than just like a quick, you know, throwing pieces down together. But you can kind of see what I'm going for. Maybe I'll add the round plaster pieces on the edge instead of the flat ones to give it kind of a lip. But that way, you know, it's a drainable, cleanable thing for the tortoises. Let's see if this one's the right size for this one too. Yeah, that one's not so bad. We'll just do this kind of thing and make it so that it sinks into... They've got a bit bigger of a watering space. Let's see. Excuse me. Not in the group anymore. That's why that happened. And there. So they've got a much bigger watering area, you can see, but I'm okay with that. So yeah, that's kind of the idea we're going for, and much more foliage over here. Awesome. All right, so with that, now we have the power. So let's go ahead and actually not take that. We'll take this one so that we get it all together, and we'll add some education over here. Whoa. There we go. And let's see, let's get algebra, giant tortoise. Sink this into the ground a little bit so that it looks nice. Great. Awesome. And then somebody else pointed out too, something really easy to kind of put down and throw around. Where are they? Am I blind? Yes. Are these conservation boards. So this is just general education about various things that we can pick, but it kind of helps to obviously it helps the guest education. Let's talk about deforestation. So that would be like habitat loss. Why is that one not in power? I'll have to look at that. And climate change, because those are two really important things for where both of these guys live and for tropical areas in general. The tropics are very highly known for being like biodiversity hotspots and having lots and lots of different species of animals. And therefore, you know, climate change and habitat loss and things like that are really, really detrimental to the ecology of those places. So I think that those kind of fit. Let's see. There we go. Now it's close enough. I'll just flip it around and put it on the other side of the path over there. Perfect. So now we have a little bit more education, and I'm trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to do before starting a time-lapse. I think the time-lapse will be adding our second animal. I want to add it over here, and that way we kind of get the guests spreading out just a little bit more, or maybe here. I haven't quite decided exactly what I want to do with this space here, or really with any of the zoo for that matter. But I guess I'll have to just figure it out. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and start the time lapse. I'll be right back. back from the time lapse. So we have flamingos. So I'm going to go ahead and play it. We can see these guys are getting put in here. I think I got 4 of them in total. But before we get talking too much about them, I'll kind of walk you through my ideas. These kind of popped up here. And I'm almost positive, is this because of space? No, nutrition. Why? Oh, you know what? I completely forgot water filtration. That shows you just how unused to playing in franchise mode I am. These poor tortoises, are running around in their filth. So hold on one sec. Let's see. Does that cover? It doesn't. It's going to need to be a little closer. Maybe we can put it on this path over here. We'll just turn it around again and we'll place it there. That should cover, great. That should cover both of those. And then, because we just got done doing our flamingos, let's go ahead and stick one right there. And that way, that should be far enough away from the guests, but that way our flamingos don't get the same thing. So that should clear them up shortly. We got some vet research done, which is great. However, we are going to now put you on the flamingos because we need you to start thinking about them. So anyway, we got this habitat started here so you can walk up and kind of see the whole habitat together. I'm going to do lots and lots of foliage and stuff like that on this one, but then you've got a gradual slope down here. I need to fix that because that shouldn't be there. Gradual slope, and people have already put trash. Great. Gradual slope down to here, and you can get a little bit better of a viewing of the flamingos down here. Now, the idea behind this little area is, if you're not familiar how flamingos lay their nests and how they kind of forage in the water for their food, that this is kind of the setup that they might have and make their little nest mounds here. I wish I could make fine enough detail in terrain to put little mounds here, so we might have to maybe mimic it with rocks is what I was thinking of, making some, like, you know, fake little nest mounds for them. But yeah, you can see I tried to make it a really gradual slope into the water. And again, thinking about doing the same thing as we're going to do with the tortoises, is making this concreted on the bottom, and so that it's easily cleaned and drained, but then that way they can still, you know, forage around in a shallow water. They're actually quite cute when they forage. They pitter patter and tap their feet all over the place and kind of mix up the water and bring their food up so that they can get it. Anyway, and then we got this started. I didn't do this all in one go because honestly I wanted your guys' opinion on this. I started this little fence line here, and you can see it kind of dips down to follow the gradual slope, and I was planning on doing this kind of all the way around. And then lots of heavy foliage around the back of here. So that way it's kind of, when you're coming down the walk, maybe a retaining wall here with foliage on top that you're kind of directed to look over in this direction at the flamingos. And then it is a dead end. So I made this like a one-way, come down here, see the flamingos. Maybe we can put some like picnic benches and things like that on there. But not too sure on that one. Started the rocks as the support. One, it keeps the flamingos in a little bit better, like over here it keeps the flamingos in, and for right now I just kind of threw up the barriers on the paths to keep the flamingos in. But like I said, if this is kind of the popular choice here, which I'm actually kind of liking it. I'm liking the rope and the wood and things like that on this fence to continue all the way down, and that would be the retaining for the flamingos. And then obviously lots and lots of trees and things like that. Now I do have to be quite careful because I know the flamingos don't like a ton of coverage. We only have this to work with. Now we probably will end up going over that just a little bit, but I want to stick as true to this as we can and keep them happy. So I'm going to stop talking so much because I actually didn't throw down anything in their enclosure for them. So let's go to Habitat real quick and see if we have anything for the flamingos. So we have a little scent thing here. Let's just go ahead and drop that into the ground there. And they use the sprinkler as well, so we can bring that over there. And they need a small food dish here. One of the things that I am going to be hopefully trying to keep in mind is keeping food kind of close to the entry of all of the exhibits. Maybe there'll be secondary ones out here, but that way, just for the game's sake, we don't have to worry about the keepers running in here and then traversing all the terrain to get to them. It'll be a nice, quick, easy fill up there. And then checking their, let's see, their wants as far as, so we got aquatic, grassland, temperate, tropical. Let's see. Aquatic, grassland, temperate, tropical. And then we've got continent is Africa, Europe, and Asia. Perfect. So let's see. I know we don't have any specific rocks for all of those, but let's see what we've got here. Just before I before I end the episode here, I want to go ahead and throw in just a little bit of kind of the plan for these guys. Lots of reeds, I'm thinking. And I do, like I said, I want to be very careful because I want to make this look as tropical as possible, but like I said, we have to be very mindful of the flamingo's wants here. So let's see, will that look, that's not really tropical, I guess. The mangrove trees, is that what they're called? Yeah, the mangrove trees. These I actually really commonly thought grew in like estuaries and things like that. Maybe I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that that's what those are really from. I don't really want to waste the foliage on the lily pads just yet, but does this, and actually, you know what, as I'm decorating this little island here, I do want to be kind of minimal on the island, because like I said, I want to kind of keep that for making the little faux nest mounds for them. Let's see, do we have anything? I want to make like a or have kind of more of like a staple tree. I could go for these, but we'll sink them like way into the ground. Maybe there might look okay, because honestly, as you are walking here, maybe that kind of helps cover that just a little bit. So it's kind of like, you know, we have to go down there to kind of see what it is. Let's see how much that affects the, ooh, I kind of quite like that one because it hangs over the edge here. Let's see how much that affects the coverage. To be honest, it might fill it up. I know that tree takes quite a bit. Yeah, see, because if we use just one of those trees, that's basically all the coverage they can stand. So, you know, I'll leave it there for now. I'll get your guys' opinion on what you think. We could also, are those strangler fig trees? Is that what they're called? Yeah, we have these too. So maybe I won't leave that there. Maybe I lied. Maybe, no, see, that one just doesn't have the same effect. It's just, it's tiny. It's too small. Maybe this one? Maybe if we kind of tilt it a little bit. Oh, that's a lot of it. Tilt it just a little bit. It just doesn't have the same kind of canopy effect. What about, don't we have those, like, aren't they called, like, wimba trees or something like that? I don't want to use those. Those are the tree I like. We have these, but to be honest, I've never been a huge fan of the color. The color tint on these is just a little bit too, like, I don't know what it is, but I don't know. I like those trees. I like them a lot. They are very tropical, but they're not my favorite. I guess that tree I'm thinking of isn't in their biome. I thought it was a tropical tree. Maybe not. I don't know. Let's see. Let's go ahead and we had a smaller version before I kind of popped that down. Let's see. That's a smaller one. That's an even smaller one. Let's see how this one goes with their terrain here. See, that one's not as bad, but still, like, right up there. We basically can't add anything else, and we've got this whole enclosure to fill. So like I said, I'll leave that there. I'll see how it goes. I'll let you guys let me know what you think. Oh, good. The guests think things are underpriced already. So let's go ahead and raise that real quick before we end. We'll just raise it by $1 each and see what they think. Other than that, I completely forgot to put down the water things. Obviously, you saw that. And getting this kind of started. We can put some education in front of here, so that the guests can start learning about our little Flamingos. And I know I pronounced it wrong. I did that on purpose. I know they're called Flamingos, but calling them Flamingos is, I don't know. I just called them Flamingos because I felt like it. We're going to turn this over here and there. So then we got just a little bit of education going on, and then I will throw down, is that one really not in power? Grr. Let's put it over here. Is it in power over here? No, it's not. Okay, well, we're not going to worry about that right now. We're going to get these ones turned on, and we are going to get... Really, these ones aren't in power either? Look at that. I'm going against exactly what I said I was trying to do, and that was stay within the blue circle, and I have 100% failed at that. So let's go ahead and get some power over here. Let's see. How far does it go? Oh, it like just barely reaches. Okay, well, we'll just kind of throw this down here. Does that reach? It does reach. We'll put it here for now. I'm not a huge fan of having these right there, but maybe in the future we can kind of readjust and revisit that. But that way now the water treatment is powered, the education boards are powered, and we are going to throw down some donation bins like I said before. Where are the donations? I always forget that the donation bins are in guest facilities because they don't seem like a facility thing. This is going to be tricky because a lot of this is sloped. So we're going to have to find the flat parts there. And I will change the color of these. Somebody pointed that out last time, and thank you so much for reminding me, but I'm not going to worry about it right now because I actually do need to wrap this up and get recording on something else. And look at all this trash. Okay, last thing, I promise, last thing, we are going to do trash cans. These ugly trash cans. I hate the ugly blue trash cans, but clearly they're needed. Guests just are not responsible with their garbage. You know, when I go to theme parks and zoos and things like that, if I have trash, I kind of put it in my pocket or my purse, people. Just a word to the wise, maybe a little bit. Yeah, I know, high amounts of litter. What else is new? I was just talking about that and giving these people a lesson on holding onto their trash in their pockets or their purses. Anyway, on that positive note, I hope you enjoyed today. We have some flamingos, we have our tortoises, and the zoo is getting going. I'm liking the layout so far. I'm liking the animals that we have. I want to add, obviously, a lot more trees, and I think the key with this one is going to be a lot more trees on the outside here to give it a nice backdrop, and that way it doesn't count towards these guys' coverage, but it's still nice and pretty, something to kind of block the rest of the zoo. So the idea is you come in through here as a really short person. Let's raise up a little bit. See the flamingos here and you don't see anything else, so that you're forced to kind of walk around and go see, and then maybe potentially, like if we have a line of trees here, making a kind of a taller building that kind of pokes up and over them, I think would make for a really good view. This is bothering me. Can I get rid of this without messing everything up? Great. Anyway, with that, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll let you take a look at our new little flamingos here, and I will see you in the next episode. As always, guys, if you enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what other animal you'd like to see, things you'd like implemented, things I did wrong. Please feel free, anything, leave it down there. I love responding to your comments, and I do my very best to respond to every single one of them. Until next time, thanks. Bye.